it. If I was on the 7300 right now, I don't think you would hear me. 100 watts versus right now it's a needles on 400. So 100 watts. So yeah, I'm going to be losing some S units right there. So if I'm moving your S meter at all, if you're hearing me, if I shut the amp off now, I'm going to go away. So it's not going to be happy. But I dealt with the air conditioning issue in the truck here. When I'm driving, I'm a slave to air conditioning, and the total price so far, and it seems to be working. I'm knocking on wood. I trust nothing anymore. It's been back and forth 3 times to the shop, and I've got about $1,737 wrapped up in it. All I ask is that it stays working, which seems to be a ludicrous thing to be doing on an older vehicle. So there you have it. And when they work on it, I take all of the radio gear out of it. My KM6AB installed a used stainless U-bolt I got into the amplifier, so that with a we'll call it our anti-theft. If somebody goes to take it, they'll destroy the amplifier getting it if somebody wants to borrow it without asking. So that's where I'm at on that, on the SUV, because not that there's any thieves around, especially in Pedro, but if it's not nailed down, they'll take it. If they can't take it, they'll destroy it. So it's not good for anything else. That's the motto here. But anyhow, we did that. Bolted it down, cleaned up all the terminals, tightened things down on all the bus bars and everything, and it seems to be happy and working right now. So there you have it. Mike, I called Mike right now. He just chimed in, but he's on the way with the wifey down to get his afternoon coffee. So he's like me, he can't work on HF without a little bit of cup of joe. So back over you there, Sean. KI7KX, KC6JLN. Yeah, you mentioned something about handle, and you took a fade on me, horrible bend conditions. You mentioned handle, and a carry handle. I think that's what you were talking about. My 7300 has the factory 7300 handle that bolts onto the side. I got that with the radio, since it's a portable radio that's, I love it. The 7300 you can stick in your pocket. I mean, that's how nice and easy it is. I love that thing. It weighs nothing compared to these other boat anchors I have. So I think you mentioned carry handle that goes along the side. Is that what you're talking about, over? Yeah, yeah, I have that. And the little feet that go on the other side, I had that. I bought when I bought the radio. But I didn't mind. I didn't have my truck for about a week and a half, and then I didn't have it for another week. And I look at my logbook now, and it's been since I think the last time we spoke. So it's been a few weeks. But the 7300, I had that fan. I hate fan issues, like I mentioned a billion times. I don't care what power. The amount of power you run means nothing. I just listen to these wailing fans I hear on people's radios, and it's ludicrous to me. So the only issue I had with the fan, and then finally, I bought a fan a few months ago and just never got around to installing it. And I asked a buddy of mine, and he came over and he solders like factory, and he installed a fan for me, and it's quiet. It spins slower. It spins a little slower. I'm tongue-tied here chewing on ice. It spins slower, but it moves the air. And the other one spins obviously faster, makes more noise, and it's a trade-off. And I figured, let me try it, which I have. I just didn't like the idea of taking a chance on scratching the radio, sticking it in and out of the glove box in the Lexus. It's nice and cool, and using it at the radio, the receiver and everything, I think is better on the 73 than the 480, but I just hit the preamp like you do and a noise reduction, and it just takes out everything, and that part of it's a lot nicer. But it's happy now, and I just left it at home. I'm glad to have my truck back, and the amplifier here will talk, and the engine's not running now, but the air's working so far. Mind you, when I say the air condition, next time we chat, we're still fingers crossed and toes crossed that it still stays working. Whenever you mess with something, as I long talk it here, the truck's an 85 4Runner, so, as clean as it is, doesn't mean things are going to stay working. Back over you, KI7KX, KC6JLN. Yeah, roger that. And, I could do the courtesy reach around and give you the 100 watts out of the, let me turn around. I got a needle injection yesterday in my shoulder, and it feels like somebody hit me with a baseball bat, sore as hell. Let me reach around here. This is 400 watts. Let me shut the amplifier off. And let me reach down here and bump the power up to 100. And right now the radio's at 100 watts. This is right now. Before another check, but right now it's in the same condition as though, like you are, equal playing field. 100 watts out of the 488 check. And this is without the amplifier on. So we can do a check 1, 2, 3 with that. And then obviously if I lower the power down, here's 5 watts. I'm sure it drops off into nothing still at 5 watts. And we'll go back up to the drive power. I'm curious now, this is the 65 watt drive power on the 480. And now I kick the amplifier back on and I drive the amp. I don't drive the amp with any more than 65, but the amplifier's back on and it should be a little bit better. With the poor conditions, one day, and if whenever you get into able to do it, the amplifier with band conditions the way they are, I think we've mentioned, is definitely helpful. So back over to you there, Sean. And right now I'm driving 65 into the SGC strictly off the battery, and should be doing pretty good. KC6JLN. Roger that, John. And yeah, if you hear Kim, tell her I said hello. And I think she's doing 6 meters. You said at one time. I don't do 6, but I believe she's doing 6 meters. And your signal came up to an S1 on that one, but it's not holding long, and then it takes a nosedive. So the bands, remember the old days when we used to carry on a conversation with 5 watts and have like a low signal, like an S7 on 5 watts back in the old days? We'll bring up the past. But yeah, it's been so much stuff going on, hectic. I got some wire from a buddy of mine, some new antenna wire that I have to change out because the wire that I'm using is all kinked up and cracked and unhappy, and it's a Teflon coated wire. Mike gave it a thumbs up, and he's the one that built the antenna, and I showed it to him, and I'm gonna list his services to hook it all up for me. I should not have to tune it or anything. It's the same type of wire, I mean the same I think gauge wire or whatever, but it's Teflon, should work as good. I wouldn't think I'd have to retune it or anything, but definitely on the antenna wire here needs some new. The other one's pretty, it's not meant to fold up like I do. I put it in a Pelican case and it's wrapped tight around the box, and I think it's already seen its use for the last year, and it's kind of weathered, and as far as that goes. Blue sky, as far as you can see. I'm looking at about 100 miles away in the mountains, and it's a little haze on the bottom, but it's nice and clear, and no complaints. 75 degrees, 78. And boy, I'm happy to get my Studio C back, my truck. A is my room, B is the living room, and C is the truck. So glad to get that back and have I miss the radio and the truck. And then of course you got to put everything back in when you get it back, because you drop the vehicle off at an auto repair. You miss it when you get it back. Plus they have to remove the part of under the dash to get to the evaporator coil and some parts where the head unit for the 480 sits. So I had to rip that out. So all in all, well, fingers are crossed and that it stays working right there, and maybe the band conditions will improve. Back over to you there. KC6JLN. Roger that, John. And boy, I tell you, it's amazing because I made some contacts on 100 watts, and it's not a big. I wasn't punching through anything, but had a contact with a buddy, previous guy that was. One of them was in. God, where was it? I have to look on my logbook here. He was in Indiana, and another one was in Montana, Michigan, and those were the last contact that I made over here on 17, on 135, 130, 140, and I had, the signals weren't high. I mean, it was I'm showing here in my logbook, I have a new logbook, a 55, 51, 53, like that, 52, so they weren't real strong. I mean, we have recordings of 10/9 signals back in the old days, but I talked to Doug the other day, W6 Humbug, and chatted with him a little bit. He's with the radio club down here. that I used to chime in with, but they don't really play radios, HF. So I just talked to Doug because he's on the Battleship Iowa, and they were on there with another event station that they have going on, so that was fun. He still had, I think he relisted his amplifier. Yeah, I don't know if he sold it, but I think he relisted the AL80B. I think he wants $1,000 for it or something, I heard. So I think he's got it listed on one of the local swap nets or something. And, hopefully he'll make that go away. I don't think he can run power where he's at. He's got a neighbor issue if he runs any type of horsepower. I think there's a neighbor that gets a little emotional. His hands are tied like mine. I actually thought about, I have new neighbors, I actually thought about running, power of my house, but my noise level I don't like, so I didn't do that. I almost got another SGC amp that guy had for sale, but for some reason the email wouldn't go through that he had, or a phone call or whatever it was. I did have a guy that a friend told me about that had the remote switch for this SGC amp. It was a plug. It was a little switch in the plug with a little LED light that I don't have. And I wanted to buy it just to throw in the drawer to have with this amp. I don't need it because I just reach around here and I could see everything, so it's not a big deal. The guy was selling it for $50. By the time I got to it, it was gone. Mike bought it. Thought he bought it from the guy, but he said, I guess the guy sold it to somebody else. He hasn't heard anything on it. So there you go on that for a remote. That was from a remote operation for the amp. That the guy had a factory, excellent condition, he said, for $50 plus shipping. So I missed out on that deal. Anyhow, back to you there, Sean. KC6JLN. KC6JLN. And fine on that, Sean. And I was going to say, I have not talked to Mike on HF. We did a quick, he was on the other day doing a check for something for a minute, but on the Omni, he's got that 10-tech, and Mike was telling me that the new 10-tech, I don't know anybody who has 10-tech, but the 10-tech Omni 7 price is going to be $3,400 or something like that, which Mike, who is a 10-tech, used to be a fan of them, said that is nuts to charge that much money when you can buy, the 7610 and the 7300. He obviously is not in the category, but for the price that they're asking for the 10-tech, and in my life of being on the radio, you ought to know how long I've been on the radio, I have not talked to probably anybody with a 10-tech more than a handful of times. So to ask that much money for a company that's hanging on by a thread is, we hear that they're hanging on, their fingers are like digging into the wall trying to hang on, but to ask that much money, I spoke to one person in my life that had a 10-tech Eagle, which that kind of I thought went away. That's a lot of money for a radio, $1,500 or whatever for a 10-tech Eagle that offers nothing, when you can buy a 7300 that's phenomenal for $1,000. It's like apples and oranges on that one. So I don't know how the company is still hanging on. I'd like to talk to somebody that's got the radio. The new 200-watt Yaesu is out. I heard a guy doing a radio check the other day on his new 101 it was a 101 MP. I've never heard anybody on the Z, so I mean it sounded all right, but I was listening on an SDR. You do not do a radio check or a microphone check using an SDR. That to me is a false reading. So it's got to be over the air. You could do microphone checks that way. So as far as that goes, but anyhow, there's I got a call the other day, and my daughter announced that her and her boyfriend, I guess, are going to be moving to the Dallas area. And I'm not a big Texas fan because in the airtime I was there, it was miserable, humid, and rained every day. So fire ants, probably big lawn. And I'm like, what are those? My sister said, those are the fire ants. I'm like, oh my God, she just don't let them get on you. You don't know why they call them fire ants. My experience out of Houston was not a positive one, so there you go. But of course, people come to Pedro, and they've got a lot of negative issues on that one, so no problem. Anyway, back over to you there, Sean. I might have time for one more. I got to shoot off to the store right there, so we might have to wrap it up. KI7KX, KC6JLN. And the 7610's not taking the back seat to anybody. And 5,000 for an extra 100 watts. That's a lot. That's not for me. But I'm not into buying any. I was actually, the only Yaesu I was thinking about buying my Bowfangs, which you can buy a UV5R now for $20, free shipping for $20. How do you beat that? But I like the FT65 that I got, and my only issue was the mic button was the PPT button. Was hard to push down, so I performed surgery on my HD. I love the little HD radio, nice audio, everything plays good. So I had to perform a little surgery on it, and I found out it was not the micro switch inside, but it was a rubber boot that's pushing there. Was a little beefy, so I put a razor blade to the inside of it, a little modification, and now it's nice and easy, like my other HDs. But one Bowfang, it went away. The transmitter went away. The UV5R, it was an old one my dad had, and my God, it was 7 years old. Had a lot of mileage on it, and it went south. And then my other one started with the receiving side of it had some issues. So I don't know. I'm gonna wait. I'd like to get another 65. It's more than likely what I'm gonna do for as much as I use it. It'll be dedicated to the home. So I have the digital at home, HD, and it's a Yaesu 70D. I think it is. The 70D is, oh my God, you need a die-hard battery with it. It'll suck the battery dry if you just have it sitting there. And that's the only quirk. It has a lot of the write-ups on that. It claims that on the little Yaesu dual-band digital radio. And sure enough, my voltage down. And don't even think about keying it down. You key it down 5 watts, you can watch it for me. So there you go on that one. But I don't know. I might get a Bowfang, but right now I got my eye on maybe another 65 Yaesu. But we'll see. So anyhow, Sean, I'm going to pass over to Trader Joe's store over here, which I hate to go on a weekend, but there's some items. I buy vegetables there, so I might run over there and check it out. Good hearing you, and if you talk to Chuck and Kim and the van up there, tell them I said hello. I might be on here tomorrow, but I don't know as yet what the schedule is down there at the salt mine. Definitely long-winded. Yeah, I see I'm still putting out the same power because the amplifier draws that deep cycle battery. Maybe the fans. I'm thinking that, I run twin fans on the bottom of the SGT, and I'm not a long talker by any means. I think that maybe the fans on the bottom might be, it's not the amplifier consuming any current voltage. Maybe it's those little fans as I say hi on that little funny one, drawing juice, because the amplifier just seems to go. I put my hand down there, it's not even lukewarm. So anyhow, 7-3, Sean, I'm going to have to skedaddle down there. Good talking to you. And we'll look forward to the next chat there. KI7KX, KC6JLN.